In today's video, we are going to look at the tactics on what Chelsea can do to beat PSG. Now, there are going to be three sections that we're going to be looking at. We're going to look at the defense, we're going to look at the midfield, and then obviously at the attacking third, and how Chelsea can beat PSG in the final for the Club World Cup. Now, first off, we definitely need to understand how Chelsea can sit up defensively. Now, this makes the most sense with Cucurella, Colwell, and Chalobah, and Reece James if he is fully fit. Now, this could be Malagusto, but I do believe Reece James is going to be the player that plays. Now, we've definitely seen Enzo Maresca use multiple inverted players, whether it's Reece James pushing up, whether it's Cucurella, Malagusto. All these players can push up, but in this match, it makes more sense that we are definitely going to be seeing Cucurella push up and Reece James holding back. And the reason why that is Kvaratskhelia coming down this side of the pitch. He is ridiculous with his foot skills, with his pace. We cannot have Reece James pushing up because if he does it, there is a large pocket of space that he will be able to utilize. And if there is any time that they receive the ball, they're going to counter and hit that area if Reece James pushes up. So therefore, during this match, Reece James will be sitting back and Cucurella will be pushing up. And yes, I understand Dembele is also a very lethal player, but Cucurella has the capability of getting back and is very good at defending, whereas we'll see Chalobah, James, and Colwell. And this could be Tosin, but more likely not, we're probably going to be seeing Chalobah in the middle, which, yes, I understand could be questionable, but like I said, currently I do believe Chalobah gets the start over Tosin. Now, that all being said, though, what we definitely will see as well is that these players will push up because we will not just let PSG play how they usually play, and we will, yes, play with a little bit of a high line, but it won't be as high as we saw with Real Madrid, where they're almost on the halfway line. We will sit back in this area and try to keep this type of semicircle because, like I talked about earlier, with the counterattacking, we definitely have to have areas where we can still defend because they can easily ping a ball back and forth. We saw us in one of their goals against Real Madrid, and if they do that, it's going to be very difficult to defend because Chelsea needs to hold on and stay in this game for as long as possible, because at some point PSG will be knocking on the door. And yes, I do believe Robert Sanchez will have to make quite a few saves in this game. I do believe he's capable of doing that. But like I said, this is how our back line will line up. And like I said, Cucurella will be the player that does push up. Reece James will be sitting back. Now, looking in the midfield, this is where it can get really interesting because I do believe we can go pound for pound in the midfield. Yes, I understand that they have a better midfield, but these three players I do believe can easily hold their own. And this is where the game will actually be won this entire time because whoever can control the midfield will control this game. We've seen PSG time and time again with Vitinha, who definitely plays the ball around. He does drop back every now and then, or I should put it over here, does drop back here to receive the ball and then plays balls out to wherever he needs to. But with that being said, that is why Caicedo will play up a little bit higher. Now, we do have Lavia here. If he's not fully fit, I do believe Santos will actually start this match. The reason why is because Caicedo has to be pushing up and put more pressure on the midfield. I do believe Lavia has the capability of defending here. He will get help with, again, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Cucurella, who will be pushing up. We will almost see a box in this area, and it will kind of start looking like this for the most part. This, like I said, will obviously still leave pockets of space in this area, but it won't allow PSG to dominate right down the middle of the pitch. And this is where, again, we've seen us do this time and time again. But even with Neto out on the wing, he can drop back, Palmer can drop back, and then we'll start seeing things along this line, which obviously is going to be more of a defensive shell. We're going to be defending with a lot more players. That's not to be unsurprising just because of being PSG, but having five guys in this midfield area is going to have huge, or even six guys sometimes, is going to have huge implications depending on Cucurella. And like I said, if we have this many players, we can win the ball back in this area. And if we do win the ball back, we can then spring Neto very quickly out in the wing. João Pedro, who I do believe will start this match, is capable of also receiving the ball, doing his own thing, and scoring a goal. And really, Chelsea is very good at counterattacks. So again, if we bring the ball back here, we don't always have to pin the ball out to Neto. We can then slowly rotate however we want to with Enzo Fernandez. Cole Palmer can take his chances. Reece James can push up a little bit. And like I said, we can start playing possession ball, which again is not what PSG obviously wants. They constantly want to have the ball. They want to dictate the tempo because they can go fast, they can go slow, they can move the ball quickly, but Chelsea do have the capabilities of also taking control of the game, and by doing that in the midfield, they will have better opportunities of doing that. Now, looking at the attacking third, this is where again it gets very interesting because these players by themselves, I do believe, have the capabilities of beating PSG, whether it's out on the wings or through the middle. Now, with PSG, they obviously push up. Hakimi and Nunez also push up out on the wings, so this is areas that we can find pockets of space for ourselves as well. If we can do that, this is again where we can exploit them very quickly on a counterattack. But let's say we're not on a counterattack. We're looking at Cole Palmer here. He is going to be a guy that's going to be dropping back almost like Vitinha and trying to receive the ball in areas a little bit further back, because if he's able to do that, he's going to be able to dictate a lot more of how he can play the ball, whether it's to Cancelo, Fernandez, Pedro, Neto. He's going to be able to kind of start drifting around a little bit more. So yes, he is out on the right wing, but he will be floating more in this area, and this is where Lavia will push up. Cancelo can also push a little bit that way, and even Cucurella pushing here. So again, these players will constantly keep pushing, and at some point we may push a little bit higher up like so, and then we'll have to cycle the ball around for the most part. But like we just talked about earlier, we can play the ball to Pedro, who again can do his own thing, find the back net, or even if we do go with Neto, who I do believe has been one of the best players in this tournament, he's more than capable of going down this wing, coming inside and cutting the ball back. Now, whether that's Enzo Fernandez crashing into the box, Cancelo at the top of the box, or even Cole Palmer being at the back post, who I do believe, again, can score and dominate this game as well. Now, obviously, there's going to be some key factors with how we sub in this match, because this is not the team that we can go a full 90 with, because it is just not going to work. It's going to be a very high octane type performance. We will have to make some substitutions. Now, with the wings themselves, we may see Christopher Nkunku come at some point. We may see Cole Palmer drop in. We may also see us drop into a little bit more formation of a 4-2-3-1. And again, that would not be surprising if we did something along these lines. And again, Fernandez probably being subbed out, or like I said, Pedro could be subbed out as well, and we could kind of rotate these players around. But like I said, we do have the player capacity to win this game. The big thing is, though, is going to be how this area does for the most part. If we can defend very well, and especially in that midfield, we can dominate this game and win this game. And again, if we take our chances and score those goals, this is where Chelsea can stamp their setting for next season by winning the Club World Cup over PSG and really getting this fire ignited for the young squad for Chelsea. And when they do win, this is just going to take them to another level for the Premier League, and obviously they're going to be contenders for the Premier League title next season. So if you do enjoy this video, I greatly appreciate it. Do hit the like button, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video.